Dr. Heavenly Kimes shades Phaedra Parks' Married to Medicine journey. It's safe to assume that we've seen the last of Phaedra Parks on Married to Medicine. She's made herself very clear that she has zero motivation to hang out with the mean girls of M2M. But should she have ever been in this friend group in the first place? It depends on who you ask. According to Dr. Heavenly Kimes, Phaedra was never really cut out for this ensemble. Phaedra Parks didn't ever fit in on Married to Medicine, says Dr. Heavenly Kimes. Throughout the last few episodes of M2M, some cast members practically begged Phaedra to reconsider her place in the friend group. She wouldn't budge. She was a no-show at the Georgian final party and skipped the season 11 reunion. With Phaedra's stance clear, Dr. Heavenly spoke to Deadline about her run on M2M. She offered a very clear explanation about why this casting never worked out. Phaedra is a great girl, beautiful woman, but I think her value systems are a little bit different from ours, Heavenly explained. She continued, I mean, we're married to medicine. We're very family-oriented, as far as like being the unit with a husband and wife. We're doctors or doctors' wives. I don't think she ever fit in that capacity. Heavenly says Phaedra didn't give it her all on M2M, so if Phaedra didn't fit in with the group, why did she join M2M in the first place? Heavenly theorized that it was a way for her to test the waters after her disgraceful exit from RHOA. Between M2M, Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, and Season 2 of The Traitors, some have forgotten about why Phaedra got fired from Bravo in the first place. Heavenly said, she's been on a lot of shows as an extra or friend, but this was the first time the opportunity came where she could be a full cast member. With that in mind, Heavenly felt like Phaedra half-assed her two-season run on M2M. She never got her hands dirty, and she ran away from the drama when things started to get spicy. I do feel that she probably didn't give it her all, but the way she left Housewives, maybe she was just being cautious, and maybe she didn't know how she would be presented to the audience again, Heavenly theorized. Although Heavenly said they were initially excited to have Phaedra on their show, she believes Housewives is a better fit for her. She's wishing her the best of luck on RHOA Season 16. Heavenly said, I think she's a great girl. It's always good to have a lawyer, but I don't think she'll fool with me anymore. I'm always open for friendship. I have no hard feelings against Phaedra Parks. Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 11. Ain't no fun when the rabbits got the gun. This week's episode of Married to Medicine show the couples still in Key West. The drama continues to intensify. Picking up where last week left off, we saw Dr. G and Quad clash at the pool party, and now the group is rehashing the chaos from the night before. Quad and King are reflecting on the blow-up, and I have to give credit where it's due. King has really shown emotional maturity throughout this trip. He points to the conversation about sex as the spark that ignited the argument, and honestly, it makes sense. Dr. G certainly wasn't getting that kind of attention from Quad when they were married. But what's really sticking with me is Quad's point about the double standard she's facing. When she was single, the group had no problem ostracizing her, even kicking her off a girls' trip. Now that she's in a happy relationship, why can't she express her joy? It's a valid frustration, and it ties into the broader double standard Quad spoke about earlier in the season. Meanwhile, T and Dr. G are rehashing the situation, and it's clear he's still holding onto some unresolved emotions about his marriage to Quad. We see him try to justify his outburst by labeling it as an age gap relationship thing, but it's hard to ignore that he was the one who lost control. Amidst the drama, Dr. Meme, Steve, Dr. Eugene, and Toya slip away for a lunch to clear the air. If there's one thing for this episode, it's definitely accountability. Meme and Steve don't hold back, immediately calling out Toya for her role in fueling the tension the night before. While Toya claimed she was just trying to change the subject, the reality is her words did the exact opposite. setting off a chain of events that made things even worse. As the ladies prepare for another day of adventure, the conversation inevitably turns to the previous night's chaos. Dr. Simone gives Heavenly credit for steering the group into meaningful dialogue, but as we all know, things still took a sharp turn. While Heavenly may not be directly responsible for the previous evening's fallout, she knows exactly how to stir the pot, and she does just that by inviting none other than Apollo, Phaedra's ex-husband, on the trip. Heavenly claims in her confessional that she invited Apollo to show Dr. G how to peacefully coexist with an ex, but it's clear that there's a deeper intention at play. Phaedra knew about Apollo's invite beforehand, but that doesn't stop it from shaking things up on this already tense couple's trip. In an attempt to avoid further drama, the group hatches a plan to keep the ladies and their exes separated during the upcoming boat ride. The extended invitation to Apollo really has me thinking. At first, I assumed Heavenly was just doing Dr. Jackie's bidding, but now it's clear she's working for the producers too, because the levels of mess here are unreal. As everyone boards the boat, Simone, ever the one to address the elephant in the room, takes the opportunity to poke fun at the criticism she received for last year's Hilton Head trip. This year, she decides to lower the bar, quipping, "This is all y'all deserve." Meanwhile, Heavenly takes a call from Apollo, who's running late but insists they shouldn't leave without him. And so the drama unfolds. Apollo doesn't just show up alone. He's accompanied by his wife, Sherian. The tension is instant, and it's impossible to ignore the palpable discomfort in the air. In her confessional, Phaedra reveals that Sherian was once her ex-husband's mistress, and that Apollo had been cheating on her before their divorce. What's even juicier? Sherian has recently filed for divorce from Apollo herself, but that's a storyline we'll have to revisit later. Quad can't help but throw some shade, quipping, "I wonder how you feel now, Phaedra? Is it nice to have the ex around with his new wife?" And honestly, the parallels are striking. Just when you thought the tension couldn't escalate any further, both Sherian and Apollo approach Chake, Phaedra's date, with a familiarity that adds yet another layer of discomfort to the situation. As it turns out, Chake and Apollo are actually good friends, knowing each other from being in the clubs. Talk about a small, awkward world. When they're docked at the sandbar, everything starts off great. The ladies are having a great time, and the men venture off to smoke some cigars and have a chat. The fellas are running off testosterone with a push-up contest, which gets things going. Could it have been King wearing his shirt open all vacation that prompted this? Possibly. Dr. G takes a moment to address King and takes some accountability for his actions from the night before. Everything is going well, until Dr. G reiterates his sentiments that Quad talks too ****ing much, which once again reignites the fire, and the silence is jarring. All the men in their confessionals share a collective sigh towards Dr. G and how he's handling this conversation. King calls for Dr. G to apologize for his insensitive comment about Quad, and honestly, things are tense, but still calm. Dr. Eugene steps in to play peacemaker, but it falls on deaf ears, because somehow he forgets what he's going to say amidst all of the tension. Everything seems amicable, but of course, there's more to come. While the ladies are off enjoying the ocean and having some girl talk, Apollo's wife, Sherian, is cozying up with the group and doesn't hesitate to throw a jab at Phaedra when the ladies reveal that Chike is Phaedra's man. "Stop it with that's her man. Chike is everybody's man in Atlanta," she fires off. Clearly, Sherian is activated on this trip, despite being a +1 of a +1. As the conversation shifts, the ladies start questioning Chike's connection to Sherian and Apollo, and it's clear no one really understands how all of these relationships are linked. Phaedra, in her confessional, doubles down on these types of B*************** as comment, feeling that real friends wouldn't ambush her with her ex-husband and his new wife. Honestly, she's not wrong for feeling that way. It's all pretty messy. Dr. Heavenly, however, has a different perspective. Earlier in the season, many of the ladies pointed out that Phaedra can be surface level in conversation and very calculated in her moves. Heavenly believes Phaedra knowingly brought Shake on the trip to stir the pot and get a rise out of Apollo. And then Sharian, who, let's assume, was a bit drunk, drops the bomb. Apollo don't give F*** about you. Phaedra's response is priceless. My name ain't Faye, you bad built ******. It's pure comedy, and I'm all in at this point. As things start to spiral, T, always with the most unfortunate timing, chimes in with, "Who invited you?" which sets Heavenly off. I have to give T some credit though. She's starting to sharpen her wit, calling Heavenly a razorback big back bay *****hat. And in her confessional, she nails it by pointing out that if it had been Dr. Jackie in a similar situation, she'd be doing the same thing. As Heavenly and T continue their war of words, Heavenly attempts to get up from the shallow waters, but in a moment of pure comedy, hilariously falls backward. The tension is high, but the chaos is even greater. Steve is one of the first men to step in, sensing that things are spiraling, as the ladies scramble to de-escalate the situation. At this point, I'm yelling at my TV, what the hell is going on? It's complete madness. T and Heavenly are being pulled apart. Contessa is gripping a $3,000 camera for dear life, and in the background, Quad is telling T, listen to your husband. The drama is endless. Meanwhile, King and Dr. G finally get a chance to address their tensions, and King intentionally pulls Dr. G aside, away from the other men, so he doesn't feel the need to put on a show. King's whole point? If there's an issue with Quad, Dr. G should take it up with him, not her. And honestly, it's not an unreasonable request, especially since Dr. Damon made the same argument to Dr. G just a few weeks back regarding T and Heavenly's ongoing feud. For a moment, it seems like the conversation is heading in the right direction, until it isn't. As Cecil wisely foreshadowed earlier in the episode, there are two big mouths at play, and it's clear that Quad isn't the only one. Next week, the trip continues, but with a few fewer faces. Shake and Phaedra, gone. Dr. G and Sweet Tea, also out. And something tells me the drama is far from over. Watch Married to Medicine on Sundays on Bravo, and catch up with our reviews each week here.